is Next Gen Gamers Podcast on our segment Versus. I am Jay Rock and this is Lucky John. Lucky Chad. Okay. So today on Versus we have two big competitors. Battlefield 3 and
Modern Warfare 3.
two big competitors. Wouldn't you say so?
Yes, I would say that, as they are the biggest games of the year.
Yep, they both recently came out near the same times, both in November, I believe.
No, Battlefield 3 came out in October.
Did it? My mistake. Well, they're both big titles for first-person shooters. We have a lot of big titles coming out. And before we get into the verses, Chant, what have you been playing recently?
I've been playing a lot of games. Like today, I've been playing Morph X, which is like a game that no one probably even heard about. It was only like $10 at Walmart. I had to buy it.
So you're saying it's in between the cracks kind of game, like no one knowing what it is.
Yeah, it's falling between the cracks. It's actually a pretty decent game. It reminds me of The Suffering. So if any of you like that, I would definitely check out Morph X. And I've also been playing Modern Warfare 3.
Well, obviously, we both put a lot of time in reviewing these games. I mean, these two are both big competitors for this year. None of them did get Game of the Year. We both know that Skyrim, Elder Scrolls V Skyrim, got Game of the Year. How do you feel about that? I mean, have you been playing Skyrim lately?
Yeah, I have been playing Skyrim. I played it on the PC and the Xbox 360. I played it on the PC for a little over 10 hours, and then I've been playing on the 360 for probably like 5 to 7 hours. And I do have to say that, well, the PC does have better graphics, and you can use the gamepad to simulate the Xbox 360 controller. And the PC version is overall, well, if there were any glitches and stuff, it would be better, especially because you can get mods to help fix things you don't like animations and stuff. But I don't know, the 360 version, I consider playing that one.
Now, going off of glitches you just said in the PC, I mean, not only the PC is suffering those glitches. I mean, I've been playing on the 360 and I've been seeing those glitches. I mean, I guess what you're saying, sorry for interrupting you, but glitches, everyone's been experiencing it, and yet it's still got Game of the Year. I mean, what do you think it is Skyrim is attracting these gamers with all these glitches? What do you think it is?
Well, I would say the longevity of the game is also one thing, and plus the amount of content. And plus, I mean, every game has bugs and stuff, and a game this enormous is bound to have some bugs. I mean, the PC version has the crashing to the desktop. The PS3 has the extreme lag with long-term periods of use, especially like if over 20 or 40 hours. And the 360 has smaller glitches, like I believe the dragon flying backwards, and it's harder to kill. I haven't seen many glitches on the 360. I mean, I've seen some where like the elephants are they, or what are they? The mammoths, they'll be like falling randomly out of the sky somehow.
I see. Yeah. I didn't really see any of these glitches. I've seen more of character-based glitches where I go to do a quest and the character's not even there. So how do I start the quest? No idea. A lot of big glitches in that game, but yet it still attracts an audience, and it is a very big game. So I mean, I don't know. What other games have you been playing recently?
Well, as I said, more effects, and I've also been playing the previous Assassin's Creed titles, like Assassin's Creed 1 and Assassin's Creed 2. Assassin's Creed 1, well, at the time when it came out, it was really good. I mean, the gameplay was kind of repetitive, and well, it was a little easy. I mean, the Assassin's Creed games are actually pretty easy, especially like 1 and 2, because well, all you have to do is counter in fights. But overall, I would say the second one is way better than the first one because it has an economy in that one.
Yeah. I mean, we are like when we played 1. I mean, we obviously played it when it first came out. 1 did seem really repetitive, but for it coming out at its time, it was a big release. Its graphics were good. Its just its gameplay was good too. I mean, being an assassin, free roaming, it's pretty good. I mean, what do you think?
Well, when I first played it, I was astounded by the game because well, the gameplay was really cool. It was something new and fresh. I mean, nowadays it's nothing new because well, they've made a second game and they made 2 spin-offs. I mean, no, they're really good, but I mean, nowadays they seem to be making similar games all the time, like Call of Duty games each and every year, and now they seem they're going to be making Battlefield games every year, and the Assassin's Creed games followed that routine, and some other games seem like they're going to start doing that as well.
I wouldn't say that Assassin's Creed is following a routine because this is a big story. I mean, you have Desmond, who's obviously experienced all these Assassin's Creed, I guess, aspects, and he's trying to learn how to become an assassin, fighting off the Templars in the modern war, in the modern world. So I mean, doing this, it requires a big story, and to finish off Ezio's, his follows the Assassin's Creed. You need to know how his story rolled out. I don't really say they're even spin-offs, but Assassin's Creed Revelations also came out this year. Big release. A lot of fun. I'm enjoying it. I mean, have you played it much? Or you?
I haven't played the story, but I've been playing. I played a little bit of the multiplayer, and the graphics are actually like I mean, from Brotherhood or Assassin's Creed 2 to Brotherhood, there was a change, but not like a big one. But I would say the detail has changed a lot since Brotherhood to Revelations. And Revelations actually seems like a pretty good game, and like the Assassin's Creed games, they do come out every year, but the stories are actually really good though. I mean, they get a lot of attention, and so they're not like Call of Duty games where like the multiplayer is kind of the same, just different maps and things. I mean, story wise, they're really good though still.
Right, right. I mean, some of the games I've been playing recently is Halo Reach. I went back to it. Nothing new. It's always the same with every Halo. Halo Anniversary came back, and I mean, I love that how you can switch from the old game to the new style. A lot more detail, and enjoying playing that storyline. Have you played Halo Anniversary?
No, I haven't been playing Halo games recently. I mean, I played Halo Reach when it first came out, and I thought it was pretty cool. I mean, I don't think it's as good as like the original Halo trilogy, and then the Anniversary edition of Halo. I mean, I haven't played that, but I do know the feature you're talking about where you can switch between seeing the current generation graphics and the original graphics. But if I mean, the game looks great. I mean, the original was awesome, and then this is even better. I mean, having current gen graphics and being able to switch between that, and then having actual online multiplayer is also pretty cool. But I don't know, it seems pretty cool.
Yeah, definitely agree with you. I like the switching. I like how you can do all of that. Big titles came out this year. Going on to the VGA awards happened last week. Are you happy with the results that Skyrim got Game of the Year?
Well, I would say that. Well, for me, I would say it did deserve Game of the Year because I'm more into role playing games than shooting games. I mean, I like all types of games, but Skyrim was probably it's a really good game. I mean, there were a lot of RPG games this year. This is like the role playing year, I would say. But like, how did you feel about the game?
I have to say, I mean, it sucked me in. I put probably more than 40 hours into the game, and been working. Yeah, a lot of time. I mean, it doesn't seem like it either. I mean, I blink and 40 hours go by. I mean, did I forget to eat? I mean, I'm asking these questions to myself, and I don't even know what time it is. I mean, it just flies by. Loving the game. I mean, one of its big competitors was Dark Souls. I mean, what do you think of that? I mean, we've heard of Demon Souls. We both played Demon Souls. What do you think of Dark Souls?
Well, it's kind of hard to compare Dark Souls to Skyrim because I mean, if you looked up forums on websites that for like they'll compare those two, and it's kind of hard because Dark Souls is a very challenging game. I mean, it's way harder than Skyrim, and well, it's a different type of game. I mean, sure, it's role playing and it has magic and combat, but it's still a different type of game. I like Skyrim more than Dark Souls, and I didn't play much of Dark Souls really. I played Rage and stuff. I mean, the thing is, you know, a game's really good when you lose track of time and you forget to eat. I mean, have you ever experienced that?
Like I said, Skyrim. It also happened to me with World of Warcraft. My first week into that, it was pretty bad. Huh, Chandler?
Yeah, I know. I played that. Like, I played that for like 2 weeks straight. Like, I just stayed in my room. Just had food lined up for me to eat. It's just because like sometimes I would just forget to eat, and like it'd be like the middle of the night. Some day would just fly by. And I mean, it's harder to get time in that game now because of work, but still, when you get time for that, it's the days are just gone.
Exactly, exactly. Yeah, those are the games that it's good when you lose food and sleep over it. Um, Definitely. Well, VGA going on to that. We saw a lot of the good titles coming out next year. We got Transformers again. How do you feel about that Transformers?
Well, the video game or the movie?
It's the video game, Fall of Cybertron. I mean, did you see the trailer for that?
I have not seen the trailer. I mean, I've seen the previous game, which was actually well received. I mean, it was. I would say it's better than the other games. It looked really good, and the gameplay was good as well. And it wasn't based off the movies, which, as we know, don't tend to do very well.
I definitely agree with you. You got those fillers like robots or like some weird sewer monsters, and the fillers are just bad when it's based off a movie.
Yeah, I would say that. I mean, you said that robots are always the fillers for all types of games. I mean, we've seen the new Spider-Man game, and yes, there are robots, but we don't know if those are fillers or anything. I mean, even the. I mean, I remember I was played a Superman game a while back, and that had robots in it, and well, those were big fillers, and so were dragons and everything like that.
And I definitely agree with I mean you go Superman Returns, you got Spider-Man 3, all had robots dealing with fillers to a movie. Because I mean you can't take a 2-hour movie and expect to make it a long game out of it. You gotta have fillers, you gotta have those crime, whatever. So definitely feeling that new Spider-Man Ultimate Spider-Man game. Not sure if it's fillers or if it has to do with the movie. I definitely don't think there's gonna be a giant robot taller than a you know 4-story house, going on in the movie. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, what do you think about that?
I mean, I think it's gonna be still. I mean, it's gonna be good. I mean, even like the Spider-Man 2 and 3, they add fillers in it. Because I mean, I'd rather play 8-hour game with something that wasn't in the movie, but just to make the game longer. I mean, if it's cool, I don't care if it's not in the movie. If it makes it fun, I'll keep playing. I mean, Spider-Man 2, that was probably like I would say people would say that was the best one out of these Spider-Man games. And now instead of the free roam type of games, because of the fact that well, it was the first free roam game with decent graphics and well, a good story, I would say, and it did have a lot of robots in it. I mean, what would you say is the best Spider-Man game currently?
Well, Chan, I would have to definitely say the new one that came out, The Edge of Time. Wow. I know you're not a big fan of it, but still, I liked it. It's just the story drew me in. Having Spider-Man on the edge of his time, dying, and having the 2009 Spider-Man coming in.
I mean, I don't know. It seemed really good. I mean, the one thing when I saw, I didn't really play it. I just saw videos of that game, but like it seemed like you were just going down corridors and just crawling. It reminded me kind of Dragon Age, though. Dragon Age is really good.
Yeah, you're right about the corridors. Well, I guess hallways. It's level based. It really does. It is level based. There's not really much you can go do free roaming. You got the original. You got fight one boss, go down this hallway, fight these guards, go to the next boss. Really short game. I beat it. I guess maybe 6 hours. Not that long. And I was trying to go for collectibles as well. So I don't know. I liked it still. It's probably my favorite Spider-Man game because, like I said, it was a suspenseful story. And that also came out this year. The gameplay for that game, well, okay, you got 2009 Spider-Man, who is more of acrobatic, who deals with speed. He doesn't have necessarily all the powers like our original Peter Parker Spider-Man. But then you got the Peter Parker Spider-Man who's more heavily with his webs. He can fling rocks around. You used to the Ultimate Spider-Man kind of sort of thing. Um, it did put a good twist to the game because you're not doing the same thing each time you're playing as a different Spider-Man. I liked it. Not like one of the best games of the year, obviously, because you got Skyrim and all that coming out, but good Spider-Man game. I don't know if I'm gonna buy the newest one coming out, the Ultimate Spider-Man, but I definitely rent it or give it a try. So what do you think?
Well, I don't know. I mean, I think I'll probably buy it because usually those types of game I buy. I mean, they're being made by Beanox, which did make Shattered Dimensions and Edge of Time. I mean, Shattered Dimensions was actually a really good game because it did have 4 different types of characters.
I actually didn't know that Beanox was actually getting involved with that. So I mean, I might that doesn't feel more like, I guess, more of a buy for me because I do like games that they create. So here you go. Sorry about
Oh, I mean, they are making the game, and it looks really good as much as I've seen. But like they haven't. I mean, they just released the trailer like a week or two ago. But I mean, I don't know. The Spider-Man game is good. I mean, I would say that my favorite ones out of the series, like going back to even to, like the PS1 series, I would say like the Spider-Man 1 and 2 for that one, and then Spider-Man 2 for the PS2. Well, I like Spider-Man 1, 2, and 3 for the PS2 as well, but I wasn't really into Web of Shadows, and I didn't play Edge of Time, but I did play Shattered Dimensions, which was actually pretty good. So I don't know. It was overall, the series as a whole was good.
Definitely agree with you on Shattered Dimensions there. Before Spider-Man's, you got the stealth, almost like Batman sort of style. You got the original, the regular Spider-Man where you're doing with the webs and rocks and all that, and then you got the 2009 99 acrobatics, flying through like flying cars flying around you, making an epic story, whatever. And then you got the crap with the Ultimate Spider-Man, right? Or is it
Yeah,
the
basically, yeah. He has the symbiote suit on, and this.
right, right? But it was definitely a good story. It came out. Not gonna spoil it for you, but good game. I don't know. Would you say it's worth a buy?
The new one that's coming out for the
No, the Shared Dimensions. Would you say it's worth a buy?
well, I played it and I played most of it, but I mean, it actually seems like a pretty good length. It seems like what would you say? Like each level is like an hour long.
30 minutes to an hour for sure. But I wanted to say it's a long game. Would you?
Well, no, I mean, sure, yeah. Each level is like a half hour to an hour long. I mean, some levels. I mean, I loved the Noir version, like Spider-Man, because of the levels, because those are like very slow and then stealthy. Yeah, so like Batman, and like I mean, the other ones they seem to go through the kind of like the same thing. You just kind of run through, you beat some people up, and then like you go and you do some swinging portions, and then well, you go fight the boss, and then usually you actually fight the boss like once I believe, and then you actually fight him again at the end, and then you end up beating him. And usually you go into like first person and everything. But I want to also say like some of the different ones, like the Ultimate Spider-Man, that was really good too because they offered some different types of gameplay, like the Deadpool one for Ultimate Spider-Man. Like you had to go and do different challenges for him and stuff. I mean, what was your favorite Spider-Man?
Like I said, Edge of Time. I mean, it was just for character. Out of the Outer Shadow Dimensions. Okay. Oh man, I don't know. I like the Noir one because it was stealth. It reminded me of Batman all over again. And I like stealth. I liked facing Hammerhead. That was a good twist to it. The graphics were good. Yeah. Definitely a good game. I mean, not great, but good. Wouldn't you agree?
Yeah, it was actually. I mean, I would say that people like that one mostly because well, the thing is they had different fighting styles, they have different characters, and they had different graphic styles as well. I mean, the Amazing Spider-Man had the old-fashioned comic book style. The Ultimate Spider-Man had the current gen comic book style. The Noir one had the black and white, and the futuristic. Well, the 2099 Spider-Man had the futuristic one. So, all overall, the game was awesome.
Even the 2099 reminded me of kind of Batman. The spikes coming out of his arms. It just kind of reminded me of it. I don't know. I'm just a big fan of Batman. But you have a question?
Okay, since we're talking about Spider-Man and Batman, what characters would you say? Which one's better, Spider-Man or Batman?
Now, do you mean by games, or do you mean just by the character in general?
Well, okay. How about this? How about we go through a timeline of let's say the games first, and then maybe the movies. Okay, like the games. Okay, Batman: Rise of Sin Tzu. How would you like? How would you say like how good of the game that one was?
Now we're getting to the old stuff. Well, I don't know if you could say it's a classic, but it was definitely a good game. Kind of sorry to say this, but I could never be Sun Tzu. Okay, I get to the end, and he was just fucking impossible to beat. It was just impossible. Would you agree with me? I mean, you tell me you enabled cheats to beat that guy. I mean, come on, Chandler. What's the deal with?
Well, I mean, the only way to beat him was actually having like what was it, the charge mode on, and when you were like when you fight, like your moves would show up red. That was the only way to actually damage him, and there was no way to actually get your meter full to and stay alive long enough to be able to do that. And I mean that was a good game though. Like you could do co-op, and it was actually very challenging, and you can unlock so many moves for that game.
The co-op and how it looked and the co-op and all that kind of reminded me of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle games where you could actually come in and use different turtles and then you go around and then kind of do the co-op missions. It just kind of reminded me of that, which was a good style of the game. I mean, I don't know. I can't. We don't really have time to go through the whole timeline, but I definitely think with the newer versions of the games, Rocksteady is doing a great job with Batman.
Yeah, I would say that too. I mean, like the newer ones are really good. I mean, those are probably like the best Batman games to date. I mean, as I can remember, there are about 3 or 5 Batman games total now. Like the Rise of Sin Tzu, there was Batman Begins for the Xbox and PS2, and then there was also another one for the PS2. I mean, you like I think it was Batman Vengeance.
Yes.
Yeah, it was that. I mean, I haven't played that, and it actually looked pretty good, but I just heard the controls were a little wonky on that. But back to the original statement. Well, Batman Arkham Asylum and Arkham City are the best. I mean, they have the best gameplay, graphics, and story out of everything, and they seem like they're a combination of like the Batman animated series from the '90s and the newer movies.
Definitely agree with you. I mean, that's why Batman Arkham City got best game for Xbox, which is kind of weird because they both came out for PS3 and Xbox. But yes, it won the award for best Xbox 360 game. For PS3 game, I forgot what won that. It was Uncharted 3. You're right, Uncharted 3. I mean, what did you think of that game?
I haven't played that. I still have to play that game. I mean, I played the first and second, and well, they've made giant leaps graphically between each game. I mean, the second one was just amazing. It was like watching a movie, but you're playing it, and you can just keep playing that game and have fun. And they actually included the multiplayer, which is also awesome. And then they have it in the third one, and it's actually greatly improved. I mean, the third one focuses, I think, on mainly combat, and they actually have some cool combat moves you can do in the actual campaign. And I also believe you can do that in the multiplayer. And I did play the beta for Uncharted 3, and it's actually pretty cool. Like you could, I played the a mission where you start out on like on trucks, and you have to try jumping on a moving plane, and it's actually very fun. It was very entertaining.
Agreed. Did you get to play the multiplayer when you played the beta?
Yeah, the beta was playing the multiplayer. I mean, because you'd start out on the plane and stuff, and whoever was on the plane got like a bonus, and then you'd actually go to the level and play. And the combat was more fun, I would say, in the multiplayer as well. I mean, it seemed like just the mechanics were better, and then, well, obviously the graphics were better as well, and I don't know.
Okay, so moving on. Um, PlayStation is releasing a new handheld, PSP Vita. What are you thinking about that, Chan?
I mean, it looks really cool. I mean, I know you said that you can play PS3 games on it now if you save down your PS3.
Yes, I did mention that. I was hearing it on forums and other podcasts that people were doing that. You can like, I guess store it to your PS3 somehow, and then go somewhere, go to work, and then you just like, hey, it's break time. Pull out your Vita and be like, hey, I kind of want to play God of War 3, and just kind of start playing it. I guess. I don't know if it's a save. I don't know how that works. I don't know really how that works, but yeah, I guess you can still play PlayStation 3 games. I mean, that's got to tell you that this game is not, fooling around. We're not gonna have crappy, side-scrolling graphics like you see on the DS, something like that. We're gonna actually see some 3D good graphics, three-dimensional graphics that you look like you're playing the PlayStation 3 in your hands. I mean, what do you think? I mean, that's just crazy.
I mean, it looks really cool. I mean, I've seen gameplay footage of Uncharted Golden Abyss, and the graphics look amazing. I mean, another topic though that relates kind of to it, like playing on handhelds, is like yeah, I believe a service called OnLive, which is like cloud gaming. They released an app for Android. Like if you have like an Android phone or tablet, you can download it to your phone or tablet, and you can get the gamepad for it, and you can actually stream actual video games to it, like with actual depending on how good your wireless services, you can actually get like HD graphics, and it doesn't matter how good the software on your on your phone or tablet is. It's really cool.
That is crazy. Thank you for the info. I did not know about that. That's really cool. Yeah. I mean, do you own an Android yourself?
No, I was going to because I mean I was actually gonna go look up to see if I could find the app, but I didn't. I mean I believe it came out December 8th, and I have not checked it out so far. But I mean you can always do it on a tablet as well. So if you have a iOS, which is like I think it's the Apple, or the iPad, that, and then Androids, you can actually. I mean I haven't tried it yet, and I really want to. I mean the controller is actually really cheap, and the cloud gaming is actually gonna get pretty good to where the point where like they won't need to make expensive consoles because they can just stream it. It'll just mainly require good service for the internet. So that's actually pretty cool. Like, what do you think the future of gaming will be?
Wow, that is a big question. Why would you put that on me? Okay. Well, I guess I'm gonna reverse this with a counter question. Do you think they're gonna release a new system here for Xbox or PS3 in the next few years, like 2 years?
I mean, there's been a lot of rumors about that, like making a PS4. I mean, I even just read that was it the people that are Naughty Dogs are afraid of the PS4 just because of the fact that I forgot what the problem was exactly, but they were having time adjusting to the new system and new software. But I mean, they haven't really said much on the PS4 right now. But I know the Xbox, like people keep speculating that it's gonna come out like next year. It's gonna be released or announced next year. But I do believe it'll come out. Like, I mean, I think they should make like at least one or two more systems. And I mean, it varies. I mean, one thing that'd be really cool is if they eventually made virtual gameplay, which I don't know how they would do that, but that'd be really cool. That'd be like that's like a fantasy right there.
Agreed, agreed. Well, let's stick with current gaming now. Well, we still got our verses. We're gonna take a little break right here, and when we come back, we're gonna hash this thing out. All right. See you in a little bit. Stay tuned. All right, we are back, and this is J Rock, and this is
Blackie Chan.
now continuing our verses. Two big competitors, Battlefield 3 and
Modern Warfare 3.
today we are discussing well, pretty much the pros and cons of these games, and see which one will be the winner. Yeah, so our two big competitors, Modern Warfare 3 and Battlefield 3. Battlefield 3 story was amazing in the beginning. The graphics were really good. Just the overall play. I mean, you gotta admit those graphics were just amazing compared to Modern Warfare 3.
Well, they had different types of styles. I mean, Battlefield 3 went for the more realistic type of graphics, and the Modern Warfare 3, they kind of went for like they try to make them look epic. That's all I have to say. I mean, I didn't play much of Battlefield 3. I played Modern Warfare 3, but I saw. I mean, I was watching you play it, so I could say I could get a good idea of what the game was like. But in Modern Warfare 3, the story is really good. I mean, Black Ops set like the bar for like having good stories along with good multiplayers and graphics because I mean, the story. I mean, Black Tuesday. That's what the plot revolves around, and it was really cool. And then the multiplayer. It's cool. I mean, it's not like a reskin version like many say. I mean, they have new additions. Obviously, they have different maps and they have different weapons.
Right, and yeah, Modern Warfare 3 is following the story of Makarov, finding that damn guy and killing him pretty much. Um, no spoilers. I won't spoil the ending, but still, comparing these two games, you look at Battlefield 3, you see the graphics. You go to Modern Warfare 3, you're seeing Call of Duty graphics, and I mean, Call of Duty is gonna be Call of Duty. Battlefield 3 is, I think, is kind of uprising. What are your opinions?
Well, haven't you seen the trailer for Battlefield 3? Above the Call of Duty? Well, above the call or above the duty.
And yeah, pros and cons for Battlefield 3. I would definitely say a pro is their graphics, their style, the way that you're moving the gun. You're actually feeling like this is going on. It's really real. I mean, really realistic. You're seeing blood, you're seeing all this, and it's just really cool. I don't know. And then you go to Modern Warfare 3, you're going, hey, we're playing the story, we're finishing it up. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I'm liking Battlefield 3 a little bit more. I mean, that's a good punch. Is that graphics? I mean, for Battlefield 3, it's a good knockout punch. I almost think. Cons to Battlefield 3 is yeah, it's repetitive. It feels like a little repetitive sometimes. I'm doing the same thing. Difficult too. I was playing on the hardest difficulty, and I'm just dying left and right. I mean, you look at Veteran on Call of Duty, and you're like, hey, yeah, I'm dying here and there, but I can still withstand it. Go Battlefield 3, I get shot once. I'm like, oh my god, where's cover? I'm like dying. I mean, would you agree with this?
Yeah, I would say that. I mean, Call of Duty was hard. I mean, it's not hard, but I mean, one of the things that makes it difficult somewhat is when you're getting shot, and like the screen will get all red, and it makes it harder to see. And it doesn't seem as bad as maybe Modern Warfare 2, but like it seriously was a problem. I mean, it makes the screen too red, and you can't see where you're going sometimes, and it allows you to get killed a lot easier.
Agreed. And I mean, multiplayer for Modern Warfare 3 is it's the same as like everything. I mean, of course, you got the new, packages like support in Strike Force, whatever stupid thing it's called. But a Call of Duty game is gonna be a Call of Duty game. You can't change what's there. I mean, you can add things. I mean, you can try new things, but in the end, it's a Call of Duty game. And you go to Battlefield 3, and it just reminds me a lot of Mag, or not like yeah, it seemed objective based. It seemed like, hey, I can actually, it seemed a lot different. I mean, I like the feel of it. Um, what? Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's just all good things that add up to make it a Battlefield game, and people are mistaken. This is not part of the Bad Company series. I mean, series. It's Battlefield. It's different whole thing, and they did a really nice job on it compared to Modern Warfare 3. Modern Warfare 3 multiplayers. It's like, hey, I'm shooting you in the face. I mean, why aren't you dying? You come up to me and you knife me, and I'm dead. I mean, it's Call of Duty. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. I mean, the games are. I mean, every year they release these games, and usually the general thing they're the same somewhat. I mean, basically they're the same. They just add some new additions and things like that. But I mean, the combat's the same. But I mean, I would say the combat between the two is obviously differs, and I would say I like Call of Duty because it seems a lot smoother, and the knifing seems better. But I do like the fact that like Battlefield 3 does have the different types of stabbing techniques, though they don't show blood when they do that.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you. Con of Battlefield 3, no blood. I'm stabbing this guy in the throat. Why isn't there blood all over my hand? Why isn't there blood shooting out? I mean, why is there no blood on my blade? But good pro to that is the techniques. No blood, no blood, no blood. Dexter, no blood. Yeah, good joke there. Definitely agree. Modern Warfare 3 though. Do you think the knife is faster in Modern Warfare 3 than compared to Battlefield?
I mean, I would say it's a little faster. I mean, it's actually really quick. I mean, if you're comparing like say Battlefield, Bad Company 2, I mean they're not since it's not in the same series, obviously different. I mean, Battlefield 3 is better in terms of gameplay, I would say, but and they've made improvements obviously, and it's a lot different. I mean, the one thing is the destructibility is also a good factor in Battlefield 3. I mean, they're in the previous titles, but it actually with the good graphics, actually it's really good.
And I like how you can like update, where you get the update with the graphics. Yeah, that's nice. I mean, it takes a bit to download. Was it like 2.01, gigs, So a lot of memory. You need that big hard drive to do that. But good update for that. Yeah, the graphics are just amazing. And I mean, that's a good punch to Modern Warfare 3. Good Modern Warfare 3 punch to Battlefield would definitely be the knifing. I would definitely think in combat. Yeah, would you agree? Yeah, combat. But the thing is, and then blood. I mean, come on. I knife a guy. I slice him in Modern Warfare 3, and I'm seeing blood streaks coming off of this. Go to my, Battlefield. I'm stabbing this guy in the throat. Why isn't there blood gushing out this guy's jugular?
Knife counters. That's actually a really cool thing in Battlefield 3.
The knife counters. I mean, that is a great thing. I love that. I mean, at the same time I hate it because obviously I'm getting the one that's dying here. But he like I go up to this guy, I knife him, and he just like kind of like pimp slaps me, and then pretty much hits me with his own knife. So I mean, it's crazy. There's just a lot of options in Battlefield 3 that Modern 3 doesn't have. I mean, like go with gameplay and stuff like that. Would you definitely agree with this?
Yeah, I would say I would agree with that.
Um, I mean, they're both big titles. I mean, you could go to someone and be like, big Modern 3 fan and be like, Call of Duty all the way, compared to Battlefield. But um, they're both big competitors for first-person shooters this year. Story-wise, which one did you like a little bit better?
Well, I would say I like Modern Warfare 3 story a little better. I mean, it's overall it has an epic scale. It's awesome. Especially, I mean, it's just a really cool game. I mean, the game overall is a nice package, especially with the extra spec op missions.
Correct, survival mode, and that is a big plus. And that's what I've been mostly playing with my friends. Is that we go on Call of Duty. Hey, let's hit up survival mode. Get to that 50th level, and buy guns, buy the. It's like Horde pretty much for Gears of War. And I mean, I'm a big Horde fan too, so um, yeah, big punch at Battlefield 3 there. I mean, out of these two, I mean, which one do you think is like coming out on top here? I mean, we're starting to see some big punches from Battlefield. We're seeing big punches from Battlefield 3. I mean, what would you think?
Well, I'd say it all comes down to the type of game you like. I mean, especially like multiplayer wise, because I mean, it's just like unlimited replayability. I mean, Battlefield 3 has like open end type of multiplayer where like actually it's Battlefield like the levels are like expansive and everything, and then Modern Warfare 3 is they're a little smaller and everything. I mean, they do have map packs which offer bigger levels, but Battlefield 3 is just like it's like a war zone.
Good point. Good point. I would definitely agree with you that Modern Warfare 3's maps compared to number two's seem smaller and not that well detailed, and so it just so I mean yeah just I don't know big punch. So are you trying to say that Battlefield 3 is like pretty much the champion out of this, or what do you think?
I mean, it all comes down on a best opinion. I mean, again, everyone has their own opinion.
Remember, we're not going off opinion, we're going off of art.
Well, true. I guess. I mean, in my opinion, I would say I would prefer Battlefield 3 just because of the types of. I mean, it's like a war zone. I like that. I mean, really, Modern Warfare 3 just comes down to running around looking for people to kill and stuff. I mean, it's short and just short levels. I mean, it's still fun, but I prefer Battlefield 3.
Definitely agree with you right there. I'm going to say that Battlefield 3 is on top in this versus mode. Got that double hook, uppercut right there on Mountain for 3, and came out on top. Yep, left jab. And took out the knockout with it feeling like a war zone, feeling like Mag on the PS3 there, feeling like objective based, feeling a lot more teamwork. And downside, there's no blood with knives, which I don't know if it's. I don't know why. I mean, you would expect blood. Maybe they. I don't know why, but definitely Battlefield 3 on top, in our opinion. Again, leave us comments and see what your opinion is. Email is jrockblackiechan, no spaces, all lowercase, at yahoo.com. Tell us how you feel about it, and give us your opinion, and we'll discuss this a little bit more next week in our next episode. Again, next episode we're going to be discussing more about the Old Republic because it is coming out here shortly, and me and Chan got our PCs ready, and we're ready for this game to come out. But yep, winner knockout Battlefield 3. Um, Going into our upcoming games for next year. What do you think going to be the bigger titles?
Well, I mean, some games aren't like they're. I mean, they say they're coming out next year, but they might not. But as right now, that are actually like it seems like they're set in stone. I would say Kingdoms of Amalur, which is a RPG. It seems like kind of like World of Warcraft type of style with Dragon Age, and I'm looking forward to that. And Prototype 2, and there's a game called Azura's Wrath, which I don't know if that's. I mean, it says it's coming out February 7th, but I don't know if it's like it's actually gonna come out. I mean, they usually come out. They sometimes usually it's like an estimate.
Exactly, and I've seen that game, and wow, he stops a whole like there's this giant like let's watch the trailer. There's a giant monster like I don't know. I can't even say monster. It's not really. I don't even know. It's like stone golem, and it's bigger than the earth. And this guy like pretty much punches the earth with his finger, and then Azura pretty much just like grabs the finger, is like holding it back before it touches the earth. Looks like a BA game. You know what I mean? It's just I can't wait for that game. I can't wait for Kingdoms of Amalur. Um, did you hear Darkness 2 is coming out next year? What do you think about that?
I mean, Darkness 2 looks really good. I mean, I know they changed the game style, like the graphic style. I mean, it looks kind of cartoony somewhat. And I heard the game's not gonna be. It's gonna be it's more linear than the previous title. So I don't know how that'll affect the game overall. I'm looking forward to that. And I would say like a game I'm looking forward to. I mean, no, I don't know when it's gonna come out, but Dragon Age 3. I mean, Dragon Age Origins was like it's like one of my favorite games, and then Dragon Age 2, I like. Well, I mean, okay, they had a different graphic style, and but like it seemed like you were it's more confined, and like you didn't get to make your. I mean, you could make your character you, but it actually had a voice this time, and you didn't get to choose, let's say, from multiple voices. If they would have allowed that, would have been, I would say, better. And they kind of tried making it seem like more like Mass Effect, just to bring in a bigger audience, I would say.
Definitely agree. And talking about Mass Effect, wow, number 3 looks amazing. Coming in with multiplayer. I mean, how do you think that's gonna feel? I mean, multiplayer on Mass Effect. Wow.
I don't really know much about the multiplayer. Like, is it like co-op or actual like deathmatch?
It sounded like deathmatch to me, but I'm not sure. Like I said, not out yet. The trailer at the VGA was more of about like gameplay. It wasn't really a trailer, so we don't really get to see like what it's all about. But gameplay looked good. Hopefully it's better than two. One definitely is better than two, I'd say, wouldn't you?
I mean, in terms of graphics, the second one's better, and I mean, the story, the second one it has a good story, but the first one kind of reminded me more of like Knights of the Old Republic somewhat. I mean, the quest seemed a little better. I mean, it seemed like you could actually go in more worlds. I mean, the side quests in Mass Effect 2 seem to relate more to like the actual characters involved, and like it actually like, it is more involved, I guess, and it actually is more important. And they took out the looting system, which you can't go and actually loot anything. And I don't know, that was kind of a disappointment as well. I mean, I like being able to loot stuff, get better weapons, and because I mean, you could upgrade your weapons on that game, but it wasn't as good. And plus, you couldn't get as many upgrades overall. Like you could get like armor upgrades, different like implants, just like the Old Republic. Because I mean, all these games we're talking about currently right now are like the Old Republic, Mass Effect. They're all made by BioWare, and they're a great company. I mean, they're known for doing that.
Exactly. I mean, look. I mean, they got the Old Republic. They got all these games that just are amazing, and they do so well with them. I mean, just a good company, and BioWare is definitely. I didn't hear too much about them, besides when it was in the Xbox with the older games. But then all of a sudden they started coming out with Mass Effect and all these good titles, and now BioWare just seems like it's like one of those best companies out there.
I would agree with you. BioWare is actually getting up there. I mean, it's like a company I would say a lot of people know. It's like Rockstar, and Rocksteady is actually making a name for themselves as well, as along with Bethesda. I mean, how many like what would you say are like the top companies right now or developers of games?
BioWare, Rocksteady, Rockstar. Those are the top three I can really think of right now. But Bethesda because of Bethesda, whatever their company's name is. Because they got what? Bethesda. Capcom. Don't even get me started on Cap. Yeah, I mean, why does it seem like they're just remaking games and remaking them, remaking them, remaking them? Why does it seem like that?
Well, I mean, it seems they're doing that more and more. I mean, it's the obvious thing, money. I mean, if we really wanted them to stop doing that, we should stop buying the games, I would say. Because, I mean, they just released Dead Rising 2 off the record, which basically, I mean, I know they added some new additions, like they added, like, was it the theme park? And then they added some different, they added different dialogue, obviously, and different cutscenes, but they didn't add enough to make it a whole new game. I mean, I know they just announced that they're making a third game, which, you know, people previously thought like Frank West was going to be the main character of this game, and he's not. Which I mean, people are probably they want yeah for the third game they're not, it's going to be a whole new character, a whole new different type of game, and I don't know. I mean, I don't know how it's going to work out so far, but I mean, I like that Capcom's making newer games like that, and they're Devil May Cry. They're actually remaking the series.
Yep. Okay. Well, pretty much we're running out of time now. But thank you for tuning in, and thank you for our versus segment. Um, leave your comments and all that, and we'll definitely have another episode next week. Um, next time on Dragon Ball Z. No. But yeah. Thank you for tuning in. And see you next week.